bit of an adjustment here actually towards A main. The investment of the Viper's Wall and the Cosmic Divide. They might try and just get on and find this Viper's Pit.
Defo just going to throw his body on the line. And you're right. Look at the spike. It's over towards B. And they've absolutely bitten on this as well. Almost all players coming over, barring one. Starzo lingering around that B side. Defo trying to really sell it on this. Surely they ask questions now.
The wall on B main, if they shoot that, that's going to tell Acend everything they need to know.
Defo. Huge impact. Impeccable work. He sold them an absolute fake and a half. And Zeke going to try and close in with that judge, but it looks like it's done for. Gambit pull out the fake just as they needed it here.
Well, I guess the success of all that conditioning, as soon as that adjustment comes on that A site hit with the Cosmic Divide, Acend bite.
And this one step too far. Gambit, they're never out of it. They are never done. They worked back 5 rounds when it felt like Acend knew everything they were doing.
I cannot fathom how this is 7-5. It's actually a real testament to Gambit's sheer grit and determination to never, ever back down. This is... I mean, at first I was really worried about how this was going to go. Now, I can't wait for the second half.
Yeah, let's get over to the desk right away. I want to get back into this game.
Thank you very much. Guys, Gambit, they're the comeback kings. You can't doubt them, right? You just never.
Hypoc hit the nail on the head. I have no idea how they have 5 rounds right now, and they're in this game, potentially even in the driver's seat. Every single round they won is a massive grind. They just grind through it. And every round Acend wins looks clean. This is flawless victories left and right.
Yeah, I feel deceived by the scoreline right now. And we had that discussion before about, you know, whether the Rays was going to be integral. Well, Zeke popped off, but conversely on the other side here, I mean, the fact that we had the Omen, that's what I was looking for over and over throughout the entirety of the series, throughout all of the playoffs. I wasn't working the game where it was there. Now I am, and now I'm thinking this is working really well for them.
And like Hypoc and them said, don't keep doing the same thing. Split it up. Do something else. It looked like they were just throwing these haymakers at B and whiffing the shots, getting taken down, but like, you know what? We did this wrong. Let's do it again. And then they finally stopped going to B, stayed away from Bone Cold, and were able to start sorting the map, figuring out how Acend was actually playing it. And that's the little bit I have for you on how Gambit came in.
It's a scary prospect as well, because let us not forget that in recent and historical times, Gambit's been a defensive-sided team on this map. So I'm sitting here looking at this scoreline going, 1, I don't know how you got the rounds, and 2, you're going on to a preferred half. Uh-oh, Acend, what do you have, you know, up your sleeve for this?
They've done this to every team they played. They've lost the maximum amount of maps to win this tournament, and they win every game where the other team gets 12 rounds. This team is,
my word,
they just have no quit.
Well, we'll see if Acend can hold on to this lead or Gambit make one last comeback for that trophy. Pansy and Hypoc, let's get back into game.
Let's do it indeed, and that's what they're fighting for, the trophy that sits between them, all on the line, 7-5. We've gone the distance. And I feel like Gambit now have given themselves enough room. This has got to be so much pressure on Acend now, because they've seen this before. It's been done before. It's been done in this series to them before.
They've given them enough room in their comfort zone on defense. Acend are going to have to constantly be evolving throughout this half. Confirmation there, at least, of early presence towards bottom mid. Gambit playing pretty deep here. You can see all of A main giving up. The utility going to make sure of that. And almost a willingness to fight for B male here.
Yeah, Shadows needs to back away quickly because Defo got out of there. Now the flash comes in, going to be forcing them further back, and now the hit looks like it wants to filter on through. Fountain on down. It's going to be Defo who just gets overrun. Bone Cold just straight up fights through him. What are these kills? Acend, just powerful in approach. Shados and Chronicle playing through from CT, but it's 4 to find. It ain't going to be easy now. Spike down the time in their side. Zeke looking for it, and he gets it. Acend get the pistol in the second half.
Oh my word!
I don't know about this game, man.
But it has. That's the pace it has to be from Acend, and that needs to maintain. It needs to be consistent.
Oh yeah, just be mad confident against Gambit in a grand final.
If they want to make Gambit sweat on the defense, they have to remain unorthodox, and it almost has to be smashing their head against a brick wall.
Because Gambit win every other time. I don't know how to explain this to people.
These slow rounds, I hate to say it, on the defense, will suit Gambit so much better.
100%. Now look at this interesting approach coming out here. 5-play lean towards A and a 5-man stack down middle.
Flash through. Nobody on the other side of it. Acend still
Cautious.
close enough. Actually, the Chronicle's utility will at least give away the information, but full site control here.
What do we have? 2 Sheriffs and a Ghost. So, hey, there's still a little bit of fight in Gambit, a little bit of venom to the bite.
Starzo wants a cheeky low angle. He's still going to have a letterbox to shoot through.
Yes. Oh, that's a dangerous angle, and Chronicle actually connects towards him instead. That's actually kind of sick. And now you're going to have to see the rest of Acend trying to fill that gap. There's Killers, there's CNED. It's going to be shut down. Clean enough as Redguard, the last one to come around. Dealt with. 4 still stand. And Acend take the next step.
So, nothing really for Gambit to work on the back of there with an all-in piece from Acend to convert the bonus. We'll see here if Acend try and capitalize on these SMGs. It would require a lot if they fight for mid here. It's going to be really, really awkward for them to close the distance and make the most of this setup here. Actually, Starzo will ride this through on the Sheriff. Healer's the only one really with early progress towards an ultimate.
Ooh, early aggression. 2 players leading this way. And actually, CNED bests Shados? They've got to know there's more as well. The Wild Spray actually will claim CNED's life. But look at the response in kind.
So
it's
quick
quick.
through ropes.
They're straight up through ropes. They really want to punish this maybe aggression or maybe players out of place. No one's going to offer them a free kill here. And here's the swing. Redguard. This could be everything. Timing could be great. Actually, a decent trade for Starzo. Next in line, Defo's gone down. And Nats is trying to keep this together. The one player that's left is Killers. Rifle to hand and a CT push in mind. He knows where Nats is. Maybe a further step towards Chronicle. A fight on 1 and a loss. Chronicle keeps control. 2 rifles remain, and Gambit get on the board in this half.
It cost them a little. Defo not close to that Blazestorm just yet, but Shados looking hyper aggro there on the back of Defo being spotted on the spy cam. I think he's able to just slip away from that. Nats. The rattiest play we've seen so far, to be honest. It's almost like that situation. It's like, please don't bait your teammate. Oh, no, wait, you're good for 2. Yeah.
It's only baiting if you don't clutch.
Exactly.
And it looks like an all-in piece towards A again. And maybe this is off the back of that aggression we saw Shados lean towards. Maybe they feel it can be a little exploited, and it looks like they're going to go straight in towards this. Isolate if they can! And Shados greets him with a smile. Sends Zeke right on back. Defo still trying to do the dance, and he comes out on top. And now just 2, make it 1. Killers with nothing to do but die. And Gambit stamp their authority back in this game.
They stand to fight versus the paranoia. I mean, it's just, I was talking about some rounds in the first half being illogical, but again, Gambit demonstrates something that's so uncharacteristic, which is to greet aggression. At the front door, this isn't deep towards sight. This is literally at the choke point. And the rotation comes through so quickly, so quickly. See here if Acend can get actually any progress towards these ultimates. Sheriffs across the board, a frenzy for CNED. They're throwing Shados once again. They want to quell this early round.
Good conditioning too.
Absolutely.
Get it in their heads. That's going to be a constant factor to handle. And Chronicle just chilling on the site.
Of course, Starzo has to walk through.
Yes. It's not great. And maybe Chronicle giving him a bit of a kindness, just going to put him down quickly. That utility is rife on this site.
Well set up.
He's read it so well. He knows what's around that corner. Couldn't quite get the utility in that he wanted. So now Heaven's a little bit more vulnerable. Calls Chronicle's attention, but he still deals well enough with Killers. Couldn't quite do much more. Has to be cautious of other players coming in through main, but that's not the case. The rotations are here. Everyone's in attendance. There's just Bone Cold all alone. That's 1. Any more would be a miracle, and 27 HP and a bit of a dream. That's all he's got. And Shados sends him back. We are closing in on the scoreline once again.
And this dynamic duo, Nats, Chronicle, will be tested in this half. They were pretty much absent for a lot of those rounds on attack.
Yep.
But this is where you expect them to start shining. Nats already with that Viper's Pit. Chronicle has the lockdown available. Actually behind this purchase, you see actually a couple of holes on the side of Gambit, more so, but obviously we know with the way this has played out already, Acend have this buy round, next one, they will be forced to save. I'm terrified, because if Gambit keep this up and you look towards Shados and Defo to, like I said, quell that aggression in the early round, that's a huge factor for Gambit, because where their strengths lean, it's towards the late round, both on attack and defense. So if Acend can't find value, I'm really, really worried for them, because then they start to slow things down. Then you give a little bit of map control to Gambit, and they run away with things then.
Plan all along for Gambit. And the timeout now is obviously Acend, so hopefully they can address this now if you want them to not wilt away under the pressure that Gambit are 100% going to bring and already have been bringing. I think as much as, you know, we obviously credit Acend with that great read towards Gambit, Gambit are in the right places here. They are meeting fire with fire.
And again, a big indicator will be the paranoia, right? In terms of these fast hits, that's kind of the only thing to force Gambit back deeper onto site. As soon as that comes through, you know that there's something behind that. You always know there's something behind that, because they desperately want to build around Acend. We saw it on Icebox. And again, with him heating up, I don't blame Acend at all.
No. 9-8.
Do you explore B again with that? Look at the setup. It's actually disgusting.
It's, how do you get past it? How, like, what are you meant to do? And now you add this into the mix. Okay, well, mid's suddenly a little less available. And that's a giveaway that he's here, but he's still... What? Zeke wins that? Yeah, everyone's going back to mid. They're like, oh. What? Okay, that changes how this round plays out. Mid's suddenly available, and these rotations are getting cut off from each other. There's the Owen Vista, so they know exactly where these players are going to be waiting. Defo, got to be careful now. There could be something waiting down those depths, and there is. It is Acend. However, it is a look towards that B side, but we know the utility setup is good from Chronicle, but can he keep it in check? Yes, he absolutely can. Defo by his side finds Zeke, and now Chronicle want to get aggressive on this, but look where the spike's going. It's heading straight towards A.
Defo being positioned here almost has a good idea of exactly what's going on. Starzo does have the res, but as we can see on the minimap, none of those are attainable right now.
They're getting aggressive.
They have to. Gambit have the man advantage here, and they have the lockdown. They need to prevent that from being used here.
Defo knows it, though, keeping this in the forefront of his mind. Showing attendance, Starzo sprays him wildly, he gets one! Red Guard's fallen, and now they back away. That's what they wanted. They wanted that one pick, and now they could have unleashed. Starzo playing by Pillar, looks towards Heaven. There's that lockdown coming on through. What do they do with this? 10 seconds.
This is so late, though.
They're not wrong. This is wrong. Oh, Acend, you're playing with fire, and Defo's going to punish Starzo, though. Back of the side, back to the wall, quite literally. And he's got to be careful. Isolates one, and now the 1v1. He loses out to Defo, but the timing is all theirs. Acend make it to double digits.
And Defo falls. This is... I hate to say it, on the back of Nats. I don't know if that's complacency or just a momentary lapse of concentration. But Zeke finds a huge kill, and it allows Acend to completely dislodge the entire game plan. Somehow, Gambit still make that interesting. Like
Absolutely.
I said, the lockdown comes so late, though. The scene there, I mean, he's faced with either being detained or losing out that 1v1. But Starzo able to tuck himself in, clutching that one up.
And now the pressure goes right towards Gambit, in my mind. Yes, they had an answer for a couple of rounds, but they know the money's coming to an end. And yeah, you bang on. Yeah, Killer's invested his, but look beyond that. Everyone else is getting theirs coming through now. Defo looking to be proactive towards middle, though. And Cenad's already threaded a little early, getting ahead of this.
You think even if Gambit win this, the next round leans in favor of Acend. Even if it's an eco. Actually, a head presents there, Defo has to dash away.
Yeah. The risk-reward maybe tilting towards the risk side as we look towards this B piece again, though. The rotations are correct from Gambit. They're going to have their players here. They're going to probably have 4 players in attendance, and Defo trying to push up. He's got...
This is awkward.
Red
the flash
here,
through.
Flash, and it's going to be A delayed push. Wait, what? Zeke and Starzo deny Defo and Redgar's aggression. Zeke takes the site. He's got the showstopper in hand. He's looking for any target, and he finds one. Nats is obliterated, and the site is now going to be under Acend control. Spike surely to be planted, and Shados and Chronicle can say nothing in this matter. Shados does find Killers, but is there a world in which they can even find an avenue?
No way.
No way, they're out. They're out.
They have to be. This is Acend on 11. Like I said, the next few rounds are huge. Even if Gambit won out this one, you look at the ultimate stack, and it leans heavily in favor of Acend. But Gambit try and be decisive. They try and take the initiative. I think the flash just slightly off there behind the smoke because
no one was blind.
There's a real possibility of that ultimately just being a 2-for-2 trade. But like you said already, the rotations come through. Gambit got the right people in the right place. And Acend, 4 survive, that's huge as well. It's almost forces Gambit another win or another buy round to remove that from the economy. And actually a round where Acend slow things down. I said that was potentially going to be one of my biggest critiques.
Gripes, yeah.
And here they look comfortable. The reaction is so quick.
It's so decisive as well. There's no second guessing. It's as soon as you get those first 2 picks, you are straight in there. And frustration's starting to show on the Gambit side. Tactical timeout probably on theirs called in. 11-8. Felt like they had an answer for a little while. But the rebuttal was so quick from Acend. And they still have ults to play with here. Yes, Zeke invested his, but you still have Starzo, you still have Bone Cord, you still have CNET. On the other side, yes, Redgar's there and so is Shados, but we are getting down to the very end of this now.
I'm looking at that purchase and I'm thinking this is the do or die round for Gambit. This is potentially Acend finding championship point, and I'm seeing Spectres. I think there was a stinger somewhere on there, which just gives me major anxiety.
Probably why there's a timeout right now.
And the thing is here, they have to almost kind of throw Acend off balance here. So they almost have to get proactive. They have to find something in the early round that alters the course of this. Because with these weapons, the longer it goes on, Gambit have to rely on utility to ultimately shut out any sight hits. And it's going to be stacked up. You know, Acend are probably anticipating playing this out as an anti-eco and Gambit maybe letting one slip. They want to hold them. They don't want to allow them to go to map point.
Huge round, potentially. Let's see what that buy looks like. It's not terrible.
That's not as bad as it was before we cut away from it.
Yeah, it's been kind of changed around. Was it 3 Spectres, 2 rifles? But you're right, this is the buy that we have to look at. This has to stop Acend's build back into this if you want Gambit to close back into this game. And I feel like it was inevitable they'd be able to get there, but now CNED instantly puts himself in this. Redgar on the back lines looking to do damage, but it's just a Spectre. As much as he can try and fight, it's still not much to bring through. Chronicle only good for 1. And Nats with the Spectre again, still tucked in the corner. CNED, he falls, and Nats still stands.
I don't know how Nats just won that with a Spectre versus CNED at that range, but Defo also going to find Bone Cold. We're going to get ahead of this. Keyless will respond though. A 2v2 presented. Keyless gets tagged up.
They're digging in so deep right now. Starzo, though, takes them to 12. And Acend are on championship point.
I can't believe it. That round there is huge as well. Acend know that they can just run numbers. If they lose one on their way in, they trade out, they have the res, they can reinforce behind this. Yeah, I have no idea how Nats wins that 1v1, but Starzo, man, the late round piece for Acend, absolutely huge from him. And they're on the brink.
And this is the buy they come in with. It comes down to this. Acend are 1 round away now. Gambit, everything they could purchase. 2 rifles, a Bulldog, and 2 Spectres. Light armor as well. It's not pretty, but Gambit are known to go against the odds. But right now, Acend are playing out of their minds. Keyless checked on early, tries to play safety. Defo wants to close that gap. He wants to be the one to make the difference. And all he feels is the full force from Keyless. And now they're out of positions, they're out of sorts. Shados, what'd you do with this? He's stuck in the sewer.
Might even get caught, but CNED,
oh my god, CNED's just unleashed as well. So they've now opened up that A site. This instantly dwindles Gambit's numbers down to 3. Nats, Redgar, and Chronicle. How do you hold on to this? The ult comes in, the information free-flowing now. Chronicle tries to walk up. It's going to be Zeke and Starzo on the other side. They're keeping their composure. They're going to try and play him through heaven. Nats is on the other side of this, but all he has is that Spectre. He's already seen one pass. CNET finds one. It's all on Redgar now. And this is what it comes down to. One more man to stand, and Redgar,
30 seconds left.
all the hours you've put in, thousands upon thousands, is down to a 1v4, and it's done! Acend are your Valorant Champions winners! The first of their kind to etch their names in the history books. And they did it in the shadows, surprising so many. And they've worked so hard.
This is really the second coming of this roster. We saw a dip in performance, a dip in form, and what a time to come back online here. Toppling Gambit, who have just looked dominant, even in the round, even in the series that they drop a map here and there. They show comeback, they show resilience, and Acend squash that here in the grand finals.
Amazing work from Acend. Truly, I think the quarterfinals dip out in the past threw a lot of doubt on their name. Put a lot of the brilliant superstars in question, but this is the crowning moment. They're one of the first out of the MEA to show how talented they are. Gambit took that from them, and they've taken it right back.
Again, they come away from this, no shame in this. Acend played absolutely lights out on that final map. Had an answer for everything, even where you think Gambit have the strengths. Acend actually topple them in their comfort zone, where Gambit have looked best. What an insane series from start to finish.
Yeah, the juxtaposition of emotions on both sides. I mean, every single player in that server, the coaches behind, they poured their life into this game. And I don't think that's going to be stopping anytime soon. And emotional moments across from all of this. Killers, I mean, as said, this Acend side has had a lot of doubters.
Yeah,
a lot of people
I've been
were.
one of them.
I think we all have, because we've seen what they look like at their best, and they looked untouchable. Roll your mind back to that Heretics victory at the very start of their career. The throw-in of Zeke coming in, how does he fit to that roster? Do we like the look, do we not? I don't think we can ever doubt them again now.
No, I think as well, you look at some of the concerns early on. I mean, Keyless for me, this event alone has been massive. Like I said, earlier on in the year, bumping from agent to agent, not really finding that comfort zone, and the way that Acend are able to then adjust around him, it's no longer seen it in friends, right? This is firing on all cylinders. Starzo and Keyless, two of the biggest improvements, I think, on this roster, but also not to even leave out Bone Cold.
No, you can't.
How many times? And you think about actually the changes stylistically from Acend, a lot of that comes from Bone Cold, a lot of it.
It does. It really does. And just look at these players on the screen. Every single one of them gave it their all. That's what it's all about here. And I can't wait to see what happens with these two going forward. What does the future hold for them? As I said, enemies in the server and friends outside.
It's crazy. Gambit put up a hell of a fight, but Acend
they did.
weather the storm, which is something we've criticized so many times, but closing out when it matters and looked in absolute control. Towards the end of that map, you see dialed in, everybody stepping up when it mattered most. An amazing statement sent by them.
What a series. What a series. And this is just a look back at this map, but my word, the entire series. From map 1 to here, it was a marathon of a best of 5. I can only imagine the emotions, the adrenaline, the come down of it all as well. As now they sit there and realize, as said, they're the best that this game has right now in this moment. No one can take it away from them. No one can doubt them. They took on Gambit, who looked untouchable. That no matter the odds, that Gambit would turn the game around. You looked at Fracture, it was condemning. You looked at that scoreline, you thought, well,
it's like,
surely it's done for.
What do you think? Fracture was actually in this series. Like, it's night and day. And that was something coming in that Acend was saying, actually, yeah, it's a back pocket for us. And you know, planting the seeds of doubt. They get absolutely rolled on that. And like I said, the resilience shown here is one of the biggest improvements for these guys.
And it's a bitter pill to swallow for the other side, I think. It goes without saying. It's one of the best players in the world on Gambit as well. We've seen them with a target on their back. They still rise to the occasion. They still found brilliance. And we have to see what they look like when they now get to come back in again. Maybe more attention on other teams. Maybe you get to see Nats reinvent himself once again. How deep can Chronicle go? But this is the story of the entire tournament. Every single team has provided amazing results. Crew absolutely blowing everyone out of the water. I think you now have a whole new set of fans around the world. Every single team. X10, how could you not love them? I mean, this whole event has been incredible, but it's not about that right now. It's about Acend, and it's about Dash on the stage with them.
A little over 2 years ago, we got the first glimpse of Riot's tactical shooter. And just 12 months later, we launched the Valorant Champions Tour globally. All of that brought us to Berlin, where 16 of the top teams competed to call themselves the best in the world. And for a team that was not afforded the spotlight or the chance at both Masters Reykjavik and Berlin, they had the only thing that mattered: trust in each other. It is our distinct honor to crown our inaugural VCT champions. Give it up for Acend! It has been a long and arduous journey over the last 12 months for all of our teams. But the 5 players standing on this stage showed the grit and tenacity required of a champion, finding their form in just the right moments to overcome incredible opponents. It started in the group stage, where they fought their way through the upper bracket to earn the first seed in the knockouts. And then from there, they dispatched an unpredictable Team Secret before putting on a display of dominance against Team Liquid. But nothing can eclipse this best of 5 game final, where they were pushed to the absolute limit. And as I turn back to our first ever champions here in Valorant, Starkso, you know I'm coming to you first, my dude. You tweeted out yesterday. You said that if someone had told you just 12 months ago that a team of quote unquote basically 5 no-names made it to the finals, you would have laughed out loud. Well, not only did you make it, you won the damn thing. So what do you want to do now? You want to laugh? You want to cry? You want to scream? Where are you at, my dude?
I don't know. I literally have zero emotions in myself. It still didn't get to me. Like the last round on Split was like, it's 5 versus 1. I'm like, what's the next map? I wanted to ask already because I thought we were still playing, you know, it's like 2-2 or something. But now it's slowly getting to me that I'm standing here, it's in front of me. I don't know, I wanted to say thank you to my insane teammates because without them, we wouldn't be here.
An absolutely insane effort by an incredible team. How's the trophy? Does it live up to expectation? Is it heavy? How does it feel in your hand?
I mean,